In this unit, we will be learning how to identify the author's tone or attitude and see how that helps with our understanding of the reading material. Maybe you're wondering, what is tone and why should we learn to identify it? The author's tone is closely associated with the purpose of writing. That voice often reveals the author's point of view, emotion, or attitude toward the subject. The writer will use a certain voice or tone to convey the main idea and his purpose of a passage. Read the following two passages. How would you describe this author's attitudes toward Mary? You can pause the video and take your time reading the two paragraphs. 同学可以暂停影片，慢慢看一下这两段文字，再到下一页看看解说。A common way to identify tone is by looking at the choice of words. Both passages are in the form of a letter to Mary. They start and end very similarly. In passage 1, words like heartbreaking, stunned, in everything together, never imagined being apart, tell us how reluctant the author was to say goodbye to Mary, so we can feel her sadness. In passage 2, words like whoop of joy, upon hearing Mary was leaving, immediately tell us the author was happy to see Mary go. So it is very clear that the author does not like Mary. Let's practice. Read the following 4 sentences and match them with 4 tones: humorous, bitter, objective, or optimistic. You can pause the video and take your time reading. 同学可以暂停影片，慢慢看一下这4句话，并且把它们的语气配合起来。In sentence 1, the author does not reveal feelings about this apartment. He simply states facts, so the tone is objective. In sentence 2, the author jokes about a revenge on the landlord by returning the apartment to the terrible condition it was when they first moved in. So the tone is humorous. In sentence 3, the author points out the fact that there are no jobs available and the apartment is referred to as a dump. So the tone is bitter. In sentence 4, the writer is expecting the apartment to be improved soon. So the tone is optimistic. Let's practice with 104年学测第48题. Which of the following best describes the author's attitude toward medical tests? You can pause the video and take your time reading. 同学可以暂停影片，慢慢看一下文字以及选项，再开始听解说。This passage begins with many patients and doctors believe, which is immediately followed by but. And then you see words like over-treatment, echoing with too many, too many, too many. The words pose harm also draw your attention. Then the last sentence reminds you that something should be left alone. So it's not hard to see that the author thinks more tests than necessary are too much and not good. So the answer should be A. Let's practice with 107年学测第52题. You can pause the video and take your time reading. 同学可以暂停影片，慢慢看一下文字、题目以及选项，再开始听解说。This paragraph begins with despite hurdles, which means true, there are difficulties, but, implying that solutions are on the horizon. And then details like the only viable way. Emphasize that desalination is the only workable solution. So the race is on, every country is competing, and promising new findings, which means good news, have been reported. Hence, we can identify that the author's attitude is hopeful. And that's a wrap. Try the exercise questions, and you will never be tone deaf again.